So this is the Town of Woodbridge Board of Finance special meeting. And the reason it's a special meeting is because our original meeting last Thursday was canceled due to lack of a quorum. So it has to be a special meeting when it's moved up. So it's Thursday, September 28th, 2023, and we will start with public comments. Anything, Gay?
No public comments.
No public comments. Then we will move on to Administrative Officer, Director of Finance, Anthony Genovese.
Thank you, Matt. I have a preliminary year-end report. The year-end report is a surplus of a little under $900,000. This brings our fund balance to, at the end of the year, to $8.5 million, or about 16%. I think it's helpful to note that this is a year-end figure. So immediately when we hit next fiscal year, we have an $800,000 amount in our budget for from fund balance. So this number will initially drop until we see how we do during the year, probably to somewhere in the low 15% range. That's still a little higher. Our range is 12 to 15%. So we're on the high end of our range in our fund balance policy. So it's something to keep an eye on as we go through the budget process. We did increase the fund balance contribution from 400 to 800,000. So I think, aside from not like in previous years, I think with an $800,000 contribution, I think you'll see some real reductions in fund balance going forward. So it's something to keep an eye on. Want to mention. If you go to the schedule that has the information on it, it really provides a nice view of where we are. The major items in revenue include general revenue of $160,000, and that's due to some grants we received, namely a revenue sharing grant that we did not anticipate, $180,000. And another revenue highlight is interest income, which is just under $500,000 surplus. We've discussed that in previous meetings. And finally, charge for services, about $50,000. We had a $125,000 surplus in building permits, but had some shortfalls in other accounts. So those are most of the items here are that we have for that make up our surplus come from revenue.
Can everybody? I'm getting a lot of feedback. Can
everybody? Why isn't everybody mute?
Can everybody mute?
Yeah, that'd be a lot somebody's coughing.
Okay, that's the revenue highlights. The expenditure highlights, the major item there is the Amity Regional School District, which is $360,000 surplus we've discussed previously. The Woodbridge Board of Education has returned $39,858 this year. So that's one of the highlights. We had a surplus in police, about $40,000. That's mainly due to vacant positions, as they're having a difficult time filling positions in the police department, and that remains an issue for them. And two other highlights include human services and recreation, which oftentimes have a lot of part-time personnel. It sort of all depends on how their programs run. But that leaves us an expenditure surplus of $560,000. And so those are some of the highlights for the fiscal year.
Any questions for Tony on this? Okay. Where do we stand with the audit, Tony?
So the auditors are currently in town hall. They are camped out in the back of the main meeting room. They are in week 2 of their 3-week field visit. So they have another week next week. Then they finish up their field review. Things are going well so far. And we anticipate a draft audit by early November this year. Last year, we had the introduction of the lease information. So we had to calculate. I'll back up a little bit. The Government Accounting Standards Board, which is a board that releases standards to follow for governmental entities when it comes to reporting their financial audit at the end of the year. Last year, we had to record our leases, which are like copier leases and if we lease any like we lease property, we release to the child center. So anytime you have a lease arrangement, we had to record that. So that took a while to put together. This year, there's a new pronouncement, and it's for SBITAs, which is subscription-based information technology arrangements. So what we have to do is all of our technology, essentially our software arrangements with all of our different vendors. If it's a subscription-based, which most of them are, where you pay annually and you have access to their software, we have to record those and report those as liabilities. So that's a new pronouncement that is going to take a while to put together, but seems to be going well so far. So those are the highlights of the audit.
Okay. It says here proposed budget meeting dates. I didn't get anything.
So I think we're going to discuss that. That was originally on there. Well, I think we're going to discuss that number 4 on the agenda.
Oh, okay, okay.
Okay, so you can skip that.
And Woodbridge Board of Ed financial report early in the year. But I see they have a $260,000 surplus, but let's not get too excited because crazy things can happen in education with kids moving in with needs or whatever. So that's a good way to start. Okay, funding requests. All righty. The first funding request, they're all line item transfers. And the first one is line item transfer 232403 in the amount of $9,542 to fund the shortfall in the vehicle replacement budget for the purchase of a building maintenance vehicle. And I will move acceptance of line item transfer 2324-03 in the amount of 9542.
Second.
Second from Dwight. Okay. Anything special on this, Tony? It's just
prices were a little higher than we anticipated.
okay. Any discussion on this further? And then all those in favor, raise your hand. Aye. It's unanimous. Okay. Next is a line item transfer 232404 for $1,200. And the request is to cover a shortfall in the truck replacement reserve to purchase a public works pickup truck. Same, I guess the same basic deal. I will move acceptance of line item transfer 2324-04 in the amount of $1,200.
I'll second.
Okay, Tom, any, same story,
Same
Tony,
deal,
right?
yeah, same thing, yeah. The
Any
trucks are
questions or
very similar.
comments on this? Okay, all those in favor? Aye. Good, okay. And the third is also a line item transfer. This is a good one. It's 232405 in the amount of $8,516 to cover the shortfall in the cow barn renovation. And this will complete the project. Total cost of the project is $286,472. So they were just a little bit short. So I'll move acceptance of line item transfer 2324-05 in the amount of $8,516.
Second.
Okay. Anything on this, Tony? Special?
I just will note that the revenue sources came from the State Historic Preservation Office, which was 50% of construction, the town budget, which we contribute 107,000, and then the Historical Society contributed about 31,000. So it was from 3 different revenue sources where, made this happen.
Okay.
So I have a question, Matt. It was basically that, Tony, because I seem to recall that it was different revenue sources. And when there's a shortfall, how is it determined who picks up the shortfall? Was that in the original agreement?
So the original shortfall was the Historical Society picked up because we didn't have it in our budget.
Uh-huh.
And so if they wanted to go forward with the base bid, they had to pick that up. So they agreed to pick that up They originally paid $5,800. I think that was from a grant, for the architectural engineering. That was the beginning of the project. And then as we finished the base bid, in order to complete the base bid, it was $26,000 shortfall, and we didn't have the funds or weren't prepared to do it, at that time. So they had to make up the difference in the base bid. So the $8,500 that's left is from the alternates in the that were done in the painting and the roof. And if you notice where it's coming from a project that was approved in the budget for a chimney replacement.
Uh-huh.
I think there's some opportunity there to do that, which is why we chose that. There's another project for the Darling House.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, anything else on that? Okay, all those in favor?
Bye.
Okay, good. And finally, the last one, again, is a line item transfer, and it's from building maintenance to develop a solution to flooding problems that exist at the ramp of the senior center. Let's get this into discussion. I'll move acceptance of line item transfer 2324-06 in the amount of 4,600.
Second.
Okay. Where exactly is this, Tony? I'm trying to picture.
The new ramp that they put in that leads into the room where they have the TV and the
Oh, the new senior center.
yeah, the new senior center, right?
Oh, okay.
The basic problem is that it's a drain at the bottom of the ramp that
Okay.
leads to a drainage system that we had previously. And the issue is when it rains a lot in a short period of time. So if it could rain all day,
Right.
right? But if it's a moderate amount of rain, it can handle it fine. It's when it rains a lot in a short period of time, it backs up. And so we've got some temporary solutions with sandbags and other things to stop it from going in the door, but we need a permanent solution there. And so we'd like to hire an engineer to help us with that. It's probably some combination of storage and or a sump pump or something of that nature to help when it rains a lot in a short period. Like if you get 2-3 inches in an hour or something, that's when it starts to back up.
So I have a question, Matt. This is very recent work, right? Pretty recent.
I would say about 3-4 years ago, maybe.
Oh, that's how fast
Before,
it
it
goes.
was before COVID, I think. We put that
Oh.
ramp in the bathroom in.
Oh, so I was just wondering if it was sort of the people who designed it and did it, if we've gone back to them. I know we've had some unusual rains, so that may be
Right.
part of the problem.
We're looking into that to see if there's opportunities there, but I'm not sure if there is at this point.
Yeah, I didn't realize it was that long. It felt much more recent. Thank
Right.
you.
Okay.
Okay, so you're monitoring this, Tony, as far as
So yeah, this is just for the design. I'm not sure how
Yeah.
much the cost of the repair, the solution is gonna actually
yeah.
be.
Okay, we're gonna find out.
We'll find out, yeah.
Any other questions?
These are, I'll just say, Matt, I'll just mention, these are the types of, this is why you have fund balance and you have contingency. You're on mute, you're muted. Oh, I can't hear anything. Ah, there we go.
Anything? No? I got a thing here.
I can hear you. I can hear
I
you.
can hear you now.
Okay. All those in favor? I got a yellow star up here or something. I'll tell you. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, good. All right, next is 4. Go ahead, Tony, it's all yours.
So the issue with the budget timeline is that usually we present the capital budget in December. But in this particular year, particularly on the Board of Selectmen, we are going to have new first selectmen and new Board of Selectmen members. So I think it would make more sense to present the capital budget in January when you have new board members. Because there's going to be a significant amount of turnover. So that's essentially the nature of the issue. And so do we want to have like departments come both, or do you want to hear them separately? That's really the question. The Board of Finance sort of sets the budget process, so that's why I thought we'd bring it up. Ellen, I think you're muted.
Is that the major change we need to think about? Is the capital budget presentations moving them forward? It's very hard to adjust this, right? And ordinarily, we would then have the operating budgets in January.
Right, the operating budgets are the end of January. It's like the last week of January. So the question is, how do we want to include the capital for those departments that have? We could just add another meeting date and add on capital, or something.
Would it make any sense to combine capital and operating?
Yeah, that's what I would do, so that the department heads don't have to come twice. It's a lot of information at once. That's the only reason why I brought it up.
It is, but then we need to, we'll still have to meet to sort it out, but it'll be presented.
Yeah.
You'll still present it to the board, whatever the board is, in a way that's clear about.
Right, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah. So I guess that's the major issue. And the other is just every year we ask members if they have any suggestions on budget guidelines or other any other information you want to share with the department heads. You can, if you have something now, that's fine. Otherwise, if you have anything or you want to think about it, it could be next meeting. I just want to bring that up as, every year we discuss this. Some years you have direction and directives, some years you don't. So
It seems to me, at least on the moving the dates to January, the agencies would want to know. The sooner they know, the better.
correct. The sooner they know, the better, right?
For their planning. I suppose that's true also about guidelines.
Right. So we send the capital budget information out this month. Operating doesn't go out till next month, so.
So can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can't hear.
So for the record, my dog keeps knocking the battery at my computer keeps getting screwed up because of my dog. So I've moved rooms, and I seem to be having trouble with power. But I'll talk fast. So Tony, I think we should do whatever is the most efficient and has the fewest number of meetings. So
Right.
if that's the plan, I would be in favor of that. I think that's a much more efficient way to go.
I can do that. That would be the. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I would like to combine both. I mean, it doesn't make, doesn't make any sense for them to come in for one and then a week or so later come in for the other.
Right.
Come in, we can plan it that way. And if we need another meeting instead of 3 meetings, we may need a 4th meeting. If it drags on, we can do that.
Right.
Right.
Better than meeting 3 and then another 3. later.
Yeah. Okay, fair enough. I think that's a great idea. That's what we'll do.
And
Right.
do you think the agencies and the departments are comfortable if we talk about guidelines next month so that we have some time?
Yeah, I think that'd be fine. Yep. I think that's fine. Yep.
That sounds good. Do we need to vote on this change or it's just consensus?
I think it would just be consensus. It's fine.
Right. Good.
Because then what we'll do is we're going to use your consensus to put together a budget schedule, and then the budget schedule you can vote on at the next meeting.
Great.
And it'll have the meetings. Before we put the schedule out, I wanted to see what your thoughts were on the meetings. That's all.
Sounds
Good.
good.
Okay. That's it.
But we can't, Matt, we can't hear you,
Matt,
Matt.
you're muted.
But he's not muted, but we can't hear him.
I don't think he's muted. It's green on the screen. He must be.
He's not muted, but he is aggravated.
He's having technical difficulties.
He's gonna have to held up signs.
You just have to do approval of minutes. Someone else could.
Well, Matt jumped off and then he's gonna jump back on, I guess.
Well, I'm also having tech difficulties here, so,
Why don't you call it the vote for the minutes?
oh, I make a motion that we approve the minutes of our last meeting dated, wait a minute, dated,
July
let me go
20th.
to them.
July
Nope, there it
20th.
is.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Okay.
Minutes.
You're fired, Susan.
what did I do?
All right, yeah, we have the minutes of July 20th. That's why I have to retire. All my equipment is breaking down here. Are there any comments, corrections, adjustments, et cetera?
No.
Okay. Hearing none, I gotta make a motion. I want to make a motion that we approve the minutes of July 20th as presented.
Second.
Second,
Okay, all those in favor? Aye, okay, good. First selectmen's report. Beth, as you can certainly tell, couldn't make it, but she sent me a list of comments. You can hear me, right?
yes.
Yes.
The 5th annual Living Treasure event was held at the Woodbridge Center. It is exciting to congratulate this year's winners, Mary Lee Barker, our own Board of Finance Chair, Matthew Giglietti, Joseph Crisco, and Lynn Piazza. It was a wonderful event, and it was my privilege to honor their collective decades of service to the town of Woodbridge. I was most impressed at what a coming together evening it was for everyone. I agree. I hope you will add the 3rd annual Woodbridge Like Me Day to your calendars. This event is hosted by the Woodbridge Ad Hoc Committee on Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion. The free event was created to bring residents together to celebrate the vibrant and diverse Woodbridge community. No matter how long you have lived in town, there are great reasons for everyone to attend this event on September 30th, which is for Saturday. We received several responses from the request for proposal, RFP, for the former Country Club of Woodbridge property for land use consultants, which was sent this past summer. If you recall, this came as one recommendation first from the Strategic Plan Subcommittee of the Board of Selectmen, made up of Selectmen McCreven and Vogel. This plan was unanimously approved by the full board. Following that approval, the RFP was developed by Selectmen Kuriakose, Vogel, and me, Beth, with input from Administrative Officer Tony Genovese, and approved unanimously by this board prior to its distribution. I believe it is not appropriate for this board to review, discuss, or decide on the proposals this time, as 4 out of the 6 of us will not be returning to the Board of Selectmen. It seems much more suitable for the new board to take up this matter with their vision for the future of that property. Hopefully, should the new board choose to use a consultant, this new person will take input from all stakeholders, including residents and businesses. This effort will hopefully build a consensus while providing positive proposals for the town. Unfortunately, the COVID-19 virus infection rate has been steadily rising lately. It is essential that our residents get vaccinated, especially those who are most vulnerable. To meet this need, the Human Services Department will host 4 vaccine clinics this fall, beginning on September 26th in the Center Building Gymnasium. There will be 2 flu vaccine-only clinics and 2 clinics with 5 vaccines available, including new COVID-19, RSV, Shingrix, Prevnar 20, the new pneumonia vaccine, and regular and high-dose flu vaccine. I want to offer my congratulations to this department for seeking and receiving a federal grant to provide better access to vaccines for our community. The $10,000 grant from the National Council on Aging will support the Human Services Department's work in making it as easy as possible for older adults and people with disabilities to get their updated vaccinations and protect their health. As a reminder, the municipal election will now be held on Tuesday, November 7th. Absentee ballot applications are available now and may be obtained from the town clerk's office and are also on the town website. Absentee ballots will be available on October 6th and can be completed by mail or in person. Contact the town clerk's office at 203-389-3424 for more information. And those are Beth's remarks. Thank you, Beth.
Matt, can I just add one thing? Beth mentioned early on about Woodbridge Like Me Day, which is Saturday. And given the weather forecast, if you don't mind, I just want to tell everyone here and everyone who's listening that this event is going on rain or shine. And if it's bad weather, we will be in the Amity High School. All of the not vendors, but all of the exhibits, everybody will be there. It's all arranged. So please come see us on Saturday, whatever the weather. It's going to be great. Thank you, Matt.
Okay. Anybody else have any other report to make on their liaison? No, no? Okay. Well, I guess then we are done. I will make a motion, we
Oh,
adjourn.
wait, I have
What?
one. Susan just texted me to apologize that her laptop just went blank on her, so she apologizes for leaving.
Okay. I will move adjournment.
Second.
Second, all those in favor? Okay, we'll see you sometime in October.